Welcome friends. In the earlier video where we have learned the three quarter clasp or the making of three quarter clasps. So this is the clasp which we have found in the earlier video. So we will now move on to how to make a Adam clasp. So we are keeping this clasp away. So once again for the just a quick you can say recap purpose, this clasp has been fabricated. This is a major component or the main portion of the clasp, and this is a retentive arm coming over, engaging the undercut on the buccal aspect between first and second molar, coming on to the marginal ridge area of first and second molar, and again engaging the undercut area between the below the contact point between first and second molar on the palatal aspect and adapting onto the palatal. So this portion, except the C, this portion as we have discussed in the earlier video remains the same for all the clasps. So we will remove this clasp and now we will start with the straightway to the Adam clasp. Again you need little bit a longer wire. In the three-quarter clasp we have said that we need 3 to 4 inches of wire, but for Adam clasp, since it has to be adapted on the both the side mesial and distal aspect of molar, so we need a little bit more. So we need almost 5 inches of wire. So 5 to 6 inches of wire will be taken. So this is how we take it, grossly straighten it with the help of you can say plier, universal plier. So we keep it here. So first and foremost is the width of the bridge of the Adam clasp. Adam clasp has 2 arrowheads, 1 bridge and 2 retentive arms. So first we have to decide the width. The width of the bridge is the same as the intercuspal width of the molar or the tooth which you are using, where you have to fabricate the Adam clasp. So it is the, so we will just bend it against the sharp end of the plier. So we have taken the wire and we will just make a 90-degree bend in the little off center of the wire. So this portion is longer, this is smaller, so we will use the off center, and this is a 90-degree angle bend we have made, and this bend can be made. After this bend, the second bend will decide the intercuspal or the width of the bridge. So we have to make a mark, as we have said, we have to be intercuspal width has to be the same as the or the bridge of the Adam clasp has to be the same width as that of intercuspal width. So we will have taken a mark on that line, and then we will again bend a 90-degree bend. So this is how it will look like. So this is the same as almost intercuspal width. So now the most important thing in this is that fabrication of arrowheads, and most of the time we are not able to make arrowheads in a good way, and arrowheads are basically, they look like arrows. So if we draw it on a paper, how the arrowhead will look like, right? This is how the arrowhead will look like. So this is arrowhead, it is V shape. This is not arrowhead. So at many times your arrowhead looks like this. So arrowhead has to be V shape. So to make a correct shape of arrowhead, we have to be like, first of all we decide how much is the length of the arrowhead. The length of the arrowhead will decide where this bridge will lie. So you want that your bridge should lie in the center of this tooth, that is center of the width of the height of the tooth from occlusal to cervical. So you want to, so the arrowhead has to be same length as this length, that is the you can say center of the occluso-cervical height of the tooth. So almost this looks to be 4 millimeters. So you can say almost 4 millimeter you have to mark it. Let us say you can take a mark also, so we can mark it on both sides. So this is 4 millimeter, right? So now we will bend a 90-degree band at this angle. So this is 90-degree band. Now from here the trick of the arrowhead starts. Now at 4 millimeter we have marked it and we have bent it, and it is looking like again a 90-degree bend. From here on you don't bend it on the against the beak of the plier. You just move the plier away from the bend and keep on bending it. Move it away, keep on bending it. Because I already marked it, so this will always form a arrowhead. But if you keep it bending against the beak, it will become a round shape, and this will be the result. You don't want this. Similarly, we have marked on the other end also, so we will make this mark also. So this mark is very important because this will decide the length of the arrowhead, that whether they are similar or not. So again I will mark a 90-degree bend here. I don't continue it against the beak of the plier. I move the plier bit away. See, hold it and keep bending it. So this is how my arrowheads are formed. Say they look like a quite bit of a V. Then there is little bit open it, so that now these arrowhead has to engage the undercut, mesial and distal undercut of the tooth. So they will look like this. So I will just flatten it out because I will just move it away. Now why they need to be widened? Because as you earlier saw it, this width is same as intracuspal width, but this wire has to cross over the marginal edge area. So definitely this width has to be more than this width. So how do we compensate it? You cannot make it just 90-degree to this bridge. They have to be a little bit separated. So this is how they have been separated. You can see. Now a little bit more is required, so we will do this wire further away from the tooth, maybe like this, and this is also has to be done like a little bit wider. So you can see how that means the plane of this arrowhead is not at the 90-degree angle to the bridge. It is more than 90-degree angle, right? So now this wire has to lie. Now once we place it in the undercut area, you see this wire is lying away from this area of the marginal edge area. Now to make this wire fall onto this point, like I must just mark it, these 2 points. This wire need to be touching this area. How we will do it? If you unwind this arrowhead area, the shape will distort. So here comes the importance of a $1 million band. So you have to give a $1 million band at half of the distance of the length of arrowhead. So this is the length of arrowhead and the half distance of this length. That means here you have to give a $1 million band. So you will hold the wire and just give a slight bend. It is very slight bend. Can you see this? Band has been given here. This is $1 million band. Now this will adapt the wire closer to the point which we have marked on the marginal edge area. So if it is less, you can do it a little bit more. Let us go there. We have to adapt it also. So now this is falling on this area. So we are now working on the mesial aspect only. So once we have adapted this wire here, so we have to see that what is the angle of the arrowhead or the bridge with the long axis of the tooth, which should be, it should be 45-degree angle. So once this adaptation has been done at this point of marginal ridge area, you just hold it and see what is the angle of the bridge, because if you accentuate this bend higher or lesser, this will affect the angle of the bridge. So now my angle of the bridge looks almost fine and I can go further ahead. So this arrowhead is being engaging the mesial cut, and this $1 million bend has made this wire to lie in the near the marginal ridge contact point. And we are not working on the distal aspect, so we are working on one aspect only. So I will advise you, don't work on both the aspects simultaneously. First complete the one end and then start the second, because then first end become a reference for the fabrication or the manipulation of the second, you can say, retentive arm. So again we place a mark where we have to give a further bend. It has been marked, and yes, this is how we make it. This is how you make it. Yes, it is done. And now this wire need to lie parallel to the marginal ridge. So here this wire is going a little bit off center, so I will just bend it so that it lies in the center of the edge. This is done. I'm again I'm not working on distal, you can say, retentive arm. I'm just working on mesial retentive arm. So then after this the steps remain the same as done with the, we just need to adapt it on a lingual aspect and all that stuff, or the palatal aspect. So let me see. So whenever you feel that some bend has caused wire to distort in a major manner, so just unwind that bend. So it is how so whatever smaller bend or whatever you do with the wire, cross check it on the cast, because if you check it after 3-4 bend, you will not know which bend has caused wire to get out of balance. So keep checking it even after giving a little bit bend, so that you know what has caused your wire to not to get adapted. So this wire is now hindering, so we will cut this wire a little bit so that smaller cut wire is again always controlled, as I said in the previous video. So this is the adaptation. You can see retentive arm is still not complete. We will just, so this wire need to be adapted in the this is how it is done. We have adapted it on the palatal aspect between the secondary molar and the first molar, and now we have to just fabricate the final retentive tag. So you can see that the retentive tag will also come like a curvature which will engage in the depth of the gingival barrier. This will engage the depth of the gingival barrier, and then this bend will cause the wire to lie onto the palatal curvature. And palatal curvature is again you can say concave, so this wire has to be made a concave. I will just do this so that the equal distance can be achieved. You can see this. You can see this. So we were there. Yes, we were there on this side. So again we will make a retentive tag also, as we have fabricated in the, just make a round loop against a round beak of flare, and then this is how it is adapting. Just do it a little bit more. So this is almost, one side is completed. Just do it. So we have done this one side. You can see the space also between the wire and you can see the bridge lying in the almost center of this vertical height from the cusp tip to the cervical area, and also the angle also you can see it looks like almost 45-degree angle to the, so only one side has been fabricated. See, it is quite retentive. It has not been engaged properly. It is passive, and if you can see, I'll just tight it. And even if it doesn't happen, so we will not do. So this one side has been fabricated, so we will move on to another side. Again, you know, we have to do a $1 million band so that this wire of arrowhead lies near to the marginal ridge area. So we have given $1 million band at the half a distance. Now this acts as a reference always. The earlier bending acts as a reference, so a little bit more is required. Yes, now it is fine. Yes. So now the wire is lying. This $1 million bend has caused the wire to lie at the marginal edge area. So again we will put a mark here. So we have to bend the wire. We can use this also. Any plier can be used. We have not done anything with the mesial aspect, so always adapt the mesial aspect and then see. Always do the adaptation of the mesial side and then see whether this is sitting or not. If it is not sitting, then you can do a little bit unwinding of the bend, which you have already done, because you have not done anything with the wire, so that which will cause it to grossly misbehave. So this is how it has to be. Now this is all right, this is all right. Little bit off center, so we have to make it in the center. so that it is adapting well here. Now this has caused it to adapt. So we make again a bend here on the palatal aspect, and it is almost the same as we have done with the C class. Or with the mesial side of the wire, again this longer wire is hurting you, or not hurting you, it is not letting the wire bending to adapt, so we will cut it. Again we will always see the mesial wire has to be adapted well, so whatever modification need to be done, it has to be done in the distal aspect, because we have not done any changes in the mesial wire. It is acting as a reference. So now this wire is straight going from this marginal ridge area on the palatal aspect to the palatal region. So this need to be adapted here into the gingivalum barrier. So how this can be adapted? It is an indirect way of adapting, the way we have done it on this side. So how do we do it? At the proximate area, where whichever end we have to be adapted, we just give a curvature outside. This is how we give the curvature, and then tighten it from the previous bend, and it will adapt there. So again, first we have to make sure that the mesial retentive arm lies the way it has been lying, and now you can see it has now adapted well. You can see this, almost done. So again I will make a loop on the wire, so plane of the loop has to be the same. This is how I do it. See, and this wire is lying away, so we'll just adapt it by giving a final bend. This is the bend. And you can again adapt it a little bit more onto the palatal aspect, because palatal curvature has to be kept in mind. And this is how you do it. So this band has to be almost done. And you can bend this wire in the mesial direction, so that I will do that also. If you have to bend this wire in a mesial direction, so what we will do, we will just bend it like this. You can see this is how you can bend it in a mesial direction and adapt it. Little bit adaptation will get distorted, so you can again adapt it. This is how. So, since this wire is longer than this, you can just reduce it. I will cut this loop in the center. See, I have cut this loop. I will consume a little bit more wire here. So these are the basic steps. I'm closing these loops for better finish and better look. So this is the final, and as you can see, it is not coming out. It is passive, and it should go into its place just by a little. There should be almost no effort involved in placing the wire onto the tooth where you have done the wire binding. There should be no effort involved. If there is no effort involved, then you said to have made the wire binding in a passive way. If you need some effort to engage the tooth where we have done the wire binding, then it is a very active and it is not desirable. So it is passive. You can see, just I place it and a little dab and it goes away, right, and it doesn't come out. It is still there. So once you have done it in a correct way, you have done you engage undercuts, there's no way that the wire binding will be wrong. So just to conclude, this is your C class, this is the Adam class, almost passive, the passive